Lim Kopi!
Hi everyone, this is Alvin from Alvin and Hazel Homes. Welcome to our channel. Today we're going to talk about a new launch project called Hillhaven. It's going to start the preview on 6th January. The location is actually 400 meter to Hillview MRT station. It's right opposite Hillview CC and also opposite Hillview 2. It's actually developed by FICE organization. Let's take a look at the layout. We'll be doing an analysis today. Okay, first of all, for this project, right, there's no 1 bedder and no 5 bedder. The size will be from 2 bedder all the way to 4 bedder. So first of all, let's take a look at the 678 square feet and the 700 square feet. Let's take a look at the facing first. For 678 square feet, it's actually facing the multi-story car park. Whereas for 700 square feet, it's actually facing the unblocked view. So in terms of layout wise, right, there's actually not much different for these two. Both are actually a dumbbell layout. That means when you come in, right, you have the room on the left and the right. Similarly for the 700 square feet. Left and right. So some people like this layout, okay, because they feel that it's more space efficient. But some people, they feel that there's no privacy. So it really depends on yourself. So for 678, right, there's actually 2 stacks, and 700 square feet, there's also 2 stacks. Total, there will be about 4 stacks for this layout, which is almost about 1/3 of the development. Total units for this development is 341 units. So this will comprise of about 110 units. In terms of pricing wise, I would say that 678 will most likely be the cheapest because of the facing and a smaller size. Okay? Whereas for 700 square feet is the more premium facing. So the price in terms of the PSF should be higher. So if you are buying for own stay, for a small family, single, or maybe buying for investment, actually I would suggest that you can go for the 678 square feet. If you are looking at 678 square feet, for this facing, right, above level 12, you will actually have the fins. Because opposite, you are actually facing the MINDEF, the Army confidential stuff. So below level 5, you will be facing the multi-story car park, and then you have a pool on top. So if you can get somewhere between level 5 and 12, I think would be the best because you have a pretty nice unblocked view for this 678 square feet size. Let's take a look at other one. We have a 721 square feet. The facing wise, we will be looking at the multi-story car park as well. The layout wise, right, is actually more of a typical layout whereby the two rooms are actually at the side. Some people prefer this kind of layout. And then the thing about this is that there is only 1 stack. So there's only around 27 units. So the supply is lower, it's actually more niche. When TOP, right, compared to the previous 678 and 700 square feet whereby there are 4 stacks, I would say that this one is actually much lower supply. In terms of pricing, right, there's actually not much different. If we were to use 721 minus, for example, 678, right, it's a difference of 43 square feet. 43 square feet times estimated 2000 PSF, the price difference will be about 86,000, which I think is still quite manageable. We take a look at the layout. The good thing about this is that all the 2 bedder, they have an enclosed kitchen, and then they are able to give 2 bathrooms, which I think is very useful. Now let's take a look at the 2 plus study. 2 plus study mainly will be 797 square feet, almost 800, which is pretty comfortable. It's almost the size of a 3 bedder. Facing wise, same, we'll be looking at the multi-story car park. This side is the unblocked view, so we are facing this side. So the 2 plus study, right, same thing, we have an enclosed kitchen, we have 2 toilets, we have a study here. You will notice the difference will be the window between this one and the 2 bedder. Okay, let's take a look at the window. For 2 plus study, right, we actually have window, very important window here. The study, the 2 toilets, the kitchen. Okay, so for people who are buying for own stay, I think window is very important because when you have more windows, right, your house will be bright. So your kitchen will be bright, your bathroom will be bright, it will be more well ventilated. So there are a lot of people who are buying for own stay, they do prefer a layout, a house with windows. Whereas for the 2 bedder, you don't have the window. For the 678, the 700 square feet, the 721 square feet, you don't have window. Let's take a look at the price difference. Let's say for this 2 plus study, 797 square feet minus just now 721 square feet. Okay, the difference would be around 76 square feet times the estimated 2000 PSF. the price difference would be about 152,000. Okay, if you think that it's more manageable, it's still quite manageable for yourself, I would suggest that you can consider this. Moreover, you have a study room here with window. You can actually use it as a storage, as a guest room, as a study room, or even a small bedroom. So this can be a very good alternative to the 3-bedder. Okay, now let's move on to the 3-bedder. Okay, let's take a look at the 3 plus study. 3 plus study, we have a 958 square feet, okay, and a 1012 square feet. Of course, in terms of size, this one is bigger. Let's look at the facing first. 958 square feet will be facing the multi-story car park, okay. Same thing, above level 12, you will have the fins. If you can get level 5 to 12 will be the best because you have an unblocked view. For 1012 square feet, you will be facing the unblocked view. Usually the PSF will be higher, more premium facing. Okay, so for this project, there's only 2 facing. One facing here and one facing here. Let's take a look at the floor plan. You would notice that for 958, it's actually a dumbbell. So when you come in, right, there's room on both sides. Okay, so here can be a guest room, can be a playroom, or maybe a granny's room. Okay, whereas for 1012, all the bedrooms are on one side. Okay, so this is one difference. Another difference I feel very important would be the living room size. The living room here it looks a little bit small. It feels a little bit like a 2-bedder kind of living room. Whereas for this one, when you come in, right, your living room is kind of the whole stretch here. So it looks bigger. Probably it looks like 2 times bigger. For myself, I would suggest that if possible, you can actually go for 1012 square feet because it looks bigger and then it comes with a premium facing. So 958 should be of a lower PSF, let's say for example 1009, whereas 1012 for example 1950 PSF. Okay, all these are just based on estimation. Let's take a look at the price difference. Let's say 1012 multiplied by this one minus 958 multiplied by this. Take a look at the difference. I've calculated for you already. So the difference would be about 153,000. Could be more, could be less to get a layout of 1012. In summary, if let's say you are able to get this level, you can actually consider 958. That is my take. But however, if not, and you prefer a premium view, which is safer, you can go for 1012. Now let's take a look at the 4-bedder. Okay, for 4-bedder, right, people who buy 4-bedder are usually for own stay. They want the best for themselves, the best view, the best size. Of course, the price also the best. Okay, so both are premium facing. We are given the unblocked view here. Okay, we are not facing the multi-story car park. Let's take a look at the layout. Let's take a look at 1259 square feet first. Okay, for this one, you have a junior master here. When you comes in, okay, it's a dumbbell layout and then the rest of the room here. Similarly, for 1378, you also have a junior master dumbbell and then here. Okay, the rest of the rooms are here. The difference will be if you look at this, right, the 1259 square feet, okay, you have a kitchen that is smaller. Okay, whereas for 1378, right, you have a longer kitchen. So for those who cook very often, this will be actually very useful. And then you also have a wet and dry kitchen. For 1259, right, you actually have a bigger utility room here. So if you want to use this for a storeroom, a helper room, it can be very useful. But for 1378, right, you have a storeroom here. This looks smaller, slightly smaller storeroom. So it depends on what you want. Either you want a bigger kitchen with a slightly smaller storeroom, or a smaller kitchen with a bigger utility room. Another very important difference here, I feel that would be this part, would be the living room area. So when you go in, right, you will notice that the living room is like this. Okay, it's portrait, it's vertical. Whereas for 1378, right, living room is more portrait. It looks more rectangular. So for this one, right, I feel that it looks much bigger because it's horizontal. Your living hall is horizontal, whereas for this is vertical. This is usually more for like 3-bedder, 2-bedder kind of layout. This usually for 4 and 5-bedder. So if you are somebody who likes to hold gathering, Chinese New Year, Christmas, I think this living room actually has much more bigger space. If you look at the window panel over here you have 3 and here you have 6. So this is easily much bigger. Okay, lastly, let's take a look at the price difference. Estimate 1378 minus 1259. The difference would be 119 square feet. Okay, 119 square feet multiplied by estimate 2000 PSF, for example, difference would be about 238,000. Can be more, can be less. So my take for 4-bedder would be this one. You have a premium facing and you have a good layout, a huge living room. The layout wise, not much different. You have junior master, master bedroom, 2-bedroom, yes. So the main difference will be here. Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you for your time. So this is the end of my presentation. If you are looking for an agent to assist you, because during the ballot day it can be very chaotic, very stressful, very pressurizing. So do drop us a DM or feel free to call us or WhatsApp us. We will be more than willing to help. Do check out our other videos as well. Thank you very much.